All right, so on today's episode, we're going to talk about your butt and why it may be too big.
What's up, HP?
Holla, holla.
What we talking about today?
About how your butt's not big enough, or what is it?
Well, I'm glad you think my butt's not big enough. That's great. Your butt's too big.
Oh, your butt's too big.
Why are you go insulting me like that? That's terrible. God.
Actually, I said your butt's not
17 years married. This is ridiculous. You're a slow learner.
Mm-hmm. So your butt's too big.
Yeah.
Not your butt.
Other people's butts.
Your butt, like the people listening, is your butt too big? Not B-U-T-T. And maybe that is too. But I'm saying B-U-T. Your butt. Right?
That's good. Yeah.
They're like, what is he talking about?
Yeah. How about this? Is your butt bigger than your why?
Is your butt bigger than your why?
If people are listening to us or watching us, the chances are that they want to level up in some area of their life, home, health, or business, likely, maybe all three. And
well, I'll say this for clarity too, is I was 5'11", 170 pounds, and my butt was too big. Right?
It's true.
Because it was an excuse.
Yeah.
It was, I could be a better dad and spend more time with my kids, but I'm working 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
Or I could be successful and earn all that income, but I came from humbling beginnings, and my parents, neither one of them graduated college. I didn't have a guide to have me be that successful, right?
Yeah.
You can fill in the blank. Let's keep going.
Yeah. No, I mean, on our first episode where we shared our story and how we stepped into the new American dream, I shared that I had a work ethic issue. And honestly, one of the things as a mom and a wife that ran through my head a lot was, I know I should get on this call, but I would rather clean up the kitchen,
right.
But I have to put the kids to bed. I just want to go to sleep, but I'd rather watch The Real Housewives on Bravo.
Yeah.
That was a real issue, actually, kind of.
Yeah.
Something I had to give up.
Language is powerful.
Yeah.
You know, what do they call that? But or and, was that a conjunction, I think? You're my English.
Oh.
You're the one that helps
I'm good
keep
at spelling. I forgot all
this
those things.
college grad.
So we are not actually like,
Yeah, no. So,
professionals.
No, not at all. Not at all.
We're just we are average people with an above average desire to succeed. And I think here, if we or other people can see that you go through a process of just getting really real with your butts, what areas that, you're allowing yourself this fictitious like escape from just taking head on what you want to do, what you want to accomplish.
Well, it's stories we tell ourselves, and we did too. We're guilty as charged of doing the exact same. Anything we speak on, let's just get that. Let's clear the air. There is 99.9999999. Well, let's just say 100% that we've had to experience it, and we're going through it now, or we've rose above it. Right?
Yeah.
Let's just be clear with that. So our butts were too big too. And we would justify every story in the book. I catch myself today.
Oh, yeah.
In instances. We were just having a conversation with Daniel and TJ about the, our who am I with this podcast thing. Mm-hmm. It was like, we could be successful, but I don't know, because we're not known, or we're not this, XYZ, whatever it is.
But who's going to support us?
But who's going to support it? But who's going to listen? But who's going to care? But it was the but. We just did it. Yeah. Right? But I think over time, one is awareness. Mm-hmm. So now we're super aware of it. Like, yep, that's some bullshit, right? Right there. So check yourself.
Yeah, before you wreck yourself.
So that's an instant awareness. That's the thing. It's not that you're going to, that's another thing, is you're not going to have this like rainbows and unicorns and everything aligns every day. And you're just like perfect frequency, hitting on all cylinders. No. It's your awareness becomes quicker, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's a big point there, actually, is that I think the butts, where these butts are getting so big that they are outnumbering and overpowering people's very powerful whys. We work with individuals all day long on a higher level where we're leading people in their businesses, and they have some powerful whys. Like they want to be home for their children. There's no why that's more powerful to me. It's like when parents want to be with their children, that's huge. And yet I see so many people, it seems like it almost looks like on the outside, that's where people say, oh, you gave up. They didn't give up. They gave in. They gave in to the buts, the lack of confidence, the lack of breaking some dysfunctional patterns and creating new habits, the lack of consistency. It's not really about whatever that obstacle is. Obstacles are very real things. Excuses are real things. And I think we take it as an assault. When people get frustrated or they hear people talking about, stop making your excuses, it's like most people are very insulted, right? Like, who are you to tell me that I'm making an excuse when we know deep down it's very true?
It's a story. Yeah. That's that warm blanket for them, though, right? That's our warm blanket, our excuses.
Yeah.
It makes us feel good on why we're not taking the action.
And why you can't versus how you can.
Oh, how many people just got offended? They just chose to get offended. I used to. Someone would say that. Remember our mentor, and I'd choose to get offended. No one offends you, right? You choose to get offended on how, how much you're holding on to that warm blanket that makes you feel good and justifying why you won't take the action to move forward and move past. So it's to change that word but, though, back to the conjunction. I hope that's right. Otherwise, we're going to have to edit this whole thing. But
well, I think we've laid it out that you didn't, graduate with a degree in English or journalism, or
I want my refund from my college. But
how dare they?
Is to change that but to and.
Yeah.
Because language is powerful in how you, in the words you choose to use. So instead of using but, you use and. So maybe it is, hey, I come from humble beginnings, so who am I to do whatever? Instead of saying but, say and. I'm going to use that as a motivation to rise above. Yeah. Like just use that, like just switch it. Take the but out and use and.
Yep.
That right there. And people, they're listening, and some people's like, that's silly. That's ridiculous. Well, all right. Well, you keep saying but and keep growing your butt.
Well, I was one of those people offended by you several years ago, but what I saw was when I got real with the fact that excuses are real, right? And that's what you're saying. Like the situation, just because it's an excuse doesn't mean it's not real. And I think that's where people get offended, is that they feel as if we're telling them.
Unvalidated.
Yeah, like it's not real what you're going through, or it's insignificant. What you're going through it's small. It's not a big deal. We're not saying that. It's very real, and it can be a huge deal. However, it also doesn't mean you're stuck. And when I started viewing excuses or my buts as an obstacle, literally what I picture in my head is a mountain. I pictured a mountain before we lived here with all these beautiful mountains around us. I pictured a mountain. And what do you do when you face a mountain? You can stop, right? And never explore or see what's on the other side, but you can hike it also. People build tunnels through them for trains and automobiles and all the things. You can climb it, you can scale it. So just because it's this very big, massive thing, obstacle, doesn't mean that it overpowers you. You simply have to actually see it for what it really is. Something in your life that is slowing you down, or you've allowed to slow you down, or to keep you from going through, or creating tense emotions in your life, or whatever. And start figuring out, instead of why not, how. How do I scale this obstacle to get to the other side? Because the thing is, if you just stay on the side that basically it's like casting a shadow in your life, you never feel good there.
Right.
and the effort that it's going to take to scale the mountain, right? Or to build the tunnel or however you're going to get around it is going to take work, but it's going to feel good and productive, like you're doing something with your life. And that's what I craved. That's what I really craved the most. I was okay with being like, yeah, hard stuff pops up in my life, but I can find a way around this thing.
Yeah. And I will find a way around this thing. But it's like the stories you continue to tell yourself and the buts you continue to tell yourself will manifest every time. It has. Look at your life, 30 years in, 40 years in, 50 years in, however old you are.
Yeah.
It will manifest by the stories that you tell and the buts that you grow. Mm-hmm. And to your point, it is what it is. It's not to undervalue the pain that you're going through, or the challenges that you have. But when we, for instance, started just saying, well, it is what it is, whether we do nothing about it or whether we do something about it. It is what it is. Like for us, we're broke. So whether we do nothing about it or do something about it, you're broke.
And it sucks. So, and it doesn't feel great. So where do we go from here?
If I have these health challenges, I wake up tomorrow, I have these health challenges. It is what it is. I can do nothing or I can do something, right? That's a huge part of it.
Well, you help me a lot. And for those of you out there that have a spouse that's got no problem laying it out like it is, like, here's your sign. Maybe you should listen. I have to say there's been times, right? I think in our relationship, you had to work on your delivery sometimes, right? But it didn't make you wrong.
Grandma always said, catch more flies with honey.
Yeah. And there was this one instance, a lot of things happen in our kitchen. Apparently, a lot of conversations happen in our kitchen. Yep. But we were hanging out just before dinner and we were brainstorming. We were just talking about business and life and all the things. And then out came my mouth was, but I can't do this in the morning because the kids are always up right after me. And then you had said something else about going to an event. When you have opportunities to put yourself around people, first of all, if you are not going, huge mistake. But I didn't want to leave the kids, to be real. So I created an obstacle that was bigger than what it was in my head. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to go to that event.
You use the kids as a scapegoat.
But who's going to watch the kids? I don't want to leave them that long. And I remember you leaned over and you said, all you have is problems. When are you going to start having solutions? Ooh. Oh, God, the truth hurts. It hurts so bad sometimes. And you know what? I wanted to get mad and I probably felt a little angry, honestly. But thank God I was going through some personal development enough to where I could pause from reacting and choose a response. And for one of the few first times, instead of just getting mad at you, I received it. And even though it hurt, I couldn't deny that it was real because I did have a lot of problems and had very little solutions. I had a lot of butts. My butt was humongous. My butt was humongous.
Well, mine was too.
And it was overpowering my why. We take the craziest things. We will take our why and make it our why not. And that's your butts. I literally, my kids were my why, but I made them in that instance, my why not.
Yeah. Yeah. So it comes down to, it's reprogramming. It's like stepping out and listening to the conversations that you're having. Like if you could literally have yourself on camera, you, me, meaning, whoever's listening, and go back and watch it, I guarantee you'd be like, man, okay, let me change the way I'm sitting here arguing for my limitations. I'm sitting here arguing for all that. And that's a whole nother topic in itself. But it really is. It's reprogramming the way you speak, the things you argue for, and it's changing that button to and. There's limitations to, yeah, I own that. That is a situation, to your point. And I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm going to do this anyway. And I'm going to level up in spite of that, because that is what it is.
Yeah, that's huge. In spite, key word, in spite of this.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do anything else, then you're just sitting in this crappy muck of, a mess that doesn't feel good. you have the ability, we all have the ability to generate how we want to feel in this given moment. And anytime you're just protecting these buts and these excuses, the fact is you're protecting the energy of feeling sad, angry, bitter, resentful, whatever it is as you're facing that obstacle, so the in spite of part is the part I love probably the most, because I like a challenge, And I think everyone honestly really does appreciate a good challenge. If they could understand that on the other side, things look better.
Yeah.
Like you are better. Like you're more equipped. It says in the Bible in what Romans, you get the strength of perseverance and character through trials and tribulations.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's through the struggle.
Yeah, it is
People
through the
want to
struggle.
avoid the struggle. It's like the person who hates to get up in the morning, despises to get up in the morning, right? Like cannot.
Are you
stand
talking about me again?
to
I thought
get
we
up
weren't
in the
going to
morning.
go.
No, this is about you. Cannot stand to get up in the morning.
I fixed that.
But they hit the snooze button 22 times. So you just made yourself go through waking up
Misery,
and going to sleep and waking up, going to sleep 22 times when you said you can't stand getting up. It's this insanity that we do to ourselves, self-inflicting.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like, and we underestimate because we lack that self-awareness. Like we can't be on the outside looking in. And that's why when we speak about these things, we do it because we know it's the simplest changes that can change the trajectory of your lives, right? Our lives.
Yes. Simple little pivots. I can't remember who said this back in the day. I wish I could give them credit. I've heard it so many places now, but someone said several years ago, every yes will have to be defended by 1,000 no's. I think part of the bigger problem here and why people have so many butts, why our butts are so big, that's just fun to say. I just had to say it again. So
yeah, no, I like it.
But, part of the issue is lack of boundaries. 100% lack of boundaries in being able to defend the yes that you've given. We say yes to so many things, and all of a sudden, nothing is actually a priority.
Right.
So one of the next steps is to actually defend what is sacred, what has become sacred and very important for your life. And when you really get down to the nitty gritty, this is one of the things I think sets many successful people apart, is you can really only count those things on two hands, max. What is sacred in your life and what's worth defending and protecting and growing.
Yeah.
But when you boil that down, you don't need a whole lot more than that either.
Right.
You just need a couple handfuls of maybe some really important and great things in your life that's going to spill over into other people's lives. And if you defend those things like a warrior, like going into battle, man, like there's no mountain that's big enough to stop you.
No, that's the tragedy too. That people, they're in their own prison, right? They create their own prison through the words, the things we tell ourselves, all those things we justify, the stories, and so small. It's such a tragedy. Yeah. But that's why we don't give up, because we know that, we were creating our own prison and we were using the wrong words and we were denying the simple things. That's hocus pocus, or that's ridiculous. And it's like, no, you are equipped. You have royalty pulsating through your blood. All of you, all of us. So to think that you're below any of this is ridiculous.
Yes.
You just don't believe in yourself. I believe in you. I know that you're capable. And to be honest, like some of the people who come into our business, which is health and fitness and personal development, to be honest with you, your story will probably be so much more powerful than mine ever could be.
Yeah.
And look at the impact we made. So I look at some of these people and like, just get out of your own freaking way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
Definitely.
Butt's too big.
We're going to shrink that thing, right?
That's
So
it.
Hopefully we've inspired our friends to lean into their why, not make it the why not, and to shrink those butts. I hopefully they've taken notes, and what you're getting away from this is, one, you need to cultivate awareness around your excuses.
Huge. Yeah, huge.
2, we're going to conquer the mountain because mountains are there for us to scale and find a way around. 3, reprogram that thinking.
Yeah.
You're going to have to, it's a trigger. Like it's literally,
Oh yeah.
it's automatic,
You
not almost automatic.
You got to disrupt it. I think Tony Robbins, so many people say disrupt that thinking.
Yes. Yes. 4, change the but to and.
Yes.
In spite of the obstacle, just tread forward, this full power, go through it. 6, decide to protect that's 5. 5, decide to protect what is sacred.
Yeah.
It's a decision, and that's what it really boils down to. Do you want to be different? Do you want to live a better life? Do you believe that you deserve to live a better life? And if so, then, hey, the first step, it starts here, right here in the head, right?
100%.